Have you ever heard of a weapon so terrifying that its secret recipe was guarded more closely than a king says treasure? A weapon that could burn on water, cling to ships and soldiers like a fiery monster, and whose mere sight sent enemy navies into a panic. This wasn't something out of a fantasy novel. This was Greek fire, the ancient world's most devastating secret weapon. For centuries, the Byzantine Empire held a fiery ace up its sleeve. This mysterious liquid flame was their ultimate naval defense, a super weapon that secured their dominance over the Mediterranean Sea. Imagine being an enemy sailor, watching in horror as a stream of liquid fire shoots from a Byzantine ship. It hits your wooden vessel, and instead of being doused by the waves, the fire spreads, consuming everything in its path. There's no escape. This was the terrifying reality of facing Greek fire. But what was it made of? That's the million-dollar question historians and scientists have been trying to answer for centuries. The formula was a state secret of the highest order, known only to a handful of trusted individuals within the Byzantine court. When the empire fell, the secret of Greek fire was lost to time, becoming one of history's most tantalizing enigmas. So, what do we actually know about it? Ancient texts describe it as a liquid substance, projected from siphons or tubes mounted on the prows of Byzantine warships. Some accounts say it was launched in pots as grenades. The descriptions are vivid. It made a loud roaring sound, produced a thick, choking smoke, and was incredibly difficult to extinguish. Water only seemed to make it burn more intensely. Some sources suggest the only way to put it out was with sand, vinegar, or, strangely enough, old urine. This ability to burn on water is the key. It immediately rules out simple flammable liquids like regular oil. This suggests a complex chemical cocktail. Historians and chemists have pieced together clues from various historical accounts. The most likely ingredients probably included some form of petroleum, like crude oil or naphtha, which would have been readily available in the Middle East. But petroleum alone doesn't explain its unique properties. This is where the real chemistry detective work begins. To make it sticky and burn on water, other substances must have been added. One popular theory is that pine resin was a key ingredient. Resin would act as a thickener, making the mixture cling to surfaces, much like modern napalm. It would also increase the intensity and duration of the fire. Another proposed ingredient is quicklime, or calcium oxide. When quicklime comes into contact with water, it undergoes a powerful exothermic reaction, meaning it generates a massive amount of heat enough to ignite a flammable mixture. If Greek fire contained quicklime, contact with the sea would literally cause it to burst into flames or burn even hotter. This would perfectly explain why water seemed to feed the fire rather than extinguish it. Then there's the matter of sulfur or saltpeter, also known as potassium nitrate. These are common ingredients in early forms of gunpowder and incendiary devices. Adding sulfur would not only make the mixture more flammable, but would also produce that noxious, suffocating smoke described in ancient texts. Saltpeter could have acted as an oxidizer, allowing the fire to burn even without a steady supply of air, making it even harder to put out. So a plausible recipe might look something like this: a base of crude oil or naphtha, mixed with pine resin to make it sticky, sulfur to make it more potent and smoky, and perhaps quicklime or saltpeter to ensure it ignited upon contact with water or continued burning fiercely. The Byzantines, being masters of alchemy and chemistry for their time, could have easily refined this recipe over generations of trial and error. The delivery system was just as ingenious as the chemical formula. The Byzantines used devices called siphons. These were likely large, bronze tubes operated by a pump. The operator would pump the liquid, which would then be projected out of a nozzle toward enemy ships. It was essentially a flamethrower, centuries ahead of its time. The psychological impact of seeing a jet of unstoppable fire streaking across the water must have been absolutely devastating. One of the most famous uses of Greek fire was during the Arab sieges of Constantinople in the 7th and 8th centuries. The massive Arab navies vastly outnumbered the Byzantine fleet, yet they were repelled time and time again, not by superior numbers, but by this terrifying incendiary weapon. The city of Constantinople, and with it the Byzantine Empire, was saved from certain doom by its secret fire. It completely changed the course of naval warfare, and arguably the history of Europe. So, with all our modern scientific knowledge, can we recreate it? The answer is ... sort of. Researchers and television shows have tried, with varying degrees of success. By mixing ingredients like gasoline, pine resin, and other chemicals, they've been able to create substances that mimic some of the properties of Greek fire. They've made mixtures that are sticky, burn on water, and are incredibly difficult to extinguish. However, we can never be 100% certain we've cracked the exact formula. The Byzantines guarded it so well that no definitive recipe has ever been found. The precise ratios, the specific type of petroleum used, and any other secret X-factor ingredients they might have added are lost forever. We're essentially making an educated guess, a reverse engineering of a long-lost technology based on second-hand descriptions. Modern chemistry has, of course, surpassed Greek fire with far more destructive incendiary weapons like napalm. Napalm, developed during World War II, is a gel-like substance, typically gasoline mixed with a thickening agent. It sticks to surfaces and burns at extremely high temperatures. The parallels are striking. It's almost as if modern science, intentionally or not, rediscovered the fundamental principles behind the Byzantines' ancient weapon. Greek fire was, in essence, the napalm of the ancient world. But the real legacy of Greek fire isn't just its chemical composition. It's a testament to human ingenuity and the power of a well-kept secret. For over 700 years, the Byzantines maintained their fiery monopoly. No other power managed to replicate it. Spies were sent, captured Byzantine sailors were interrogated, but the secret held firm. This level of security is almost as impressive as the weapon itself. The mystery also highlights how much knowledge can be lost to history. We often think of history as a continuous progression of knowledge, but Greek fire proves that's not always the case. A technology can be perfected, used to change the world, and then completely vanish, leaving behind only legends and scorched wreckage. So the next time you think of ancient warfare, don't just picture swords and shields. Picture the Byzantine navy, holding the line against overwhelming odds, armed with bronze siphons spewing a mysterious, unquenchable fire. A weapon born of secret knowledge that burned on water, and whose true formula remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most fascinating secrets are the ones that history refuses to give up. What do you think was in Greek fire? Let me know your theories down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into a historical mystery, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you in the next video.